It can happen very fast.
They can get through anything. They can sneak away in a heartbeat.
And you likely won't even know until it's too late.
It can happen to anybody.
1986, the year it happened to John Harrington.
There was something that caught his attention in the pool that day, and he slipped and went in.
Harrington's 18-month-old son Rex was home with a babysitter when he drowned in the backyard pool.
And you try not to blame, and you try not to point fingers, and we did that, my wife and I. But you still have that internal guilt.
After years of grieving, Harrington began telling his son's story and helped launch the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona.
We keep the issue in front of people.
Formed in the late 80s, the advocacy group was the first in the valley to start warning families of drowning dangers. A time when Harrington says nearly 30 children drowned in just one summer.
He's only 15, but earlier today, the weight of the world was on his shoulders. Jacob Peterson held the life of an 18-month-old baby in his hands. This morning, Jacob went to Mike and Shelley Conway's house to mow their lawn. Instead, he found a disaster in progress. Little Coulter Conway had fallen in the pool.
Checked for a pulse, and he had a pulse. And so then I checked for breathing, but he wasn't breathing. And so then he was all blue and pale and kind of cold. So I started mouth to mouth about 5 times, and then after about 5 times I heard him, he started coughing.
A faulty latch on the pool gate allowed the 4 Conway children inside just long enough for Coulter to fall in. The Conways are making sure this never happens again. They took CPR classes in the hospital this afternoon, and Mr. Conway has already fixed the pool gate. Jacob says he's not a hero, just at the right place at the right time, but he does have some advice.
I think it would be a good idea for everybody to know CPR, because you never know when you might use it. I never thought I'd have to use it.
In Mesa, Carol Archer, Channel 10 News.
Now, the sad irony to the story is that just last night, the Conways saw one of Dave Muncie's summer of supervision spots on our air, and after seeing it, Mr. Conway turned to his wife and told her that it was time to get that gate fixed. Now,
what happened?
It changed the course of our family's life. He was actually a year and a half old when he was in the pool, and so when Jacob actually jumped in, if it was 2 minutes later, that child probably would have been brain dead or completely dead. And so it changed the course of our family's life because of Jacob actually listening, getting CPR trained, and doing the thing that he had been trained on to do. It's really cool.
So he got to your house and immediately jumped in. We're going to, right now, have a little reunion. So basically your son, walk me through, is walking up, and he is going
26
to...
years later, yes.
And has he seen Jacob anytime?
No, only once.
Oh, here we go.
This is Coulter Conway.
What's it like to see that?
Very emotional.
He's 18 months old.
He has a child of his own right now, and he's just finishing his master's in accounting program, so you have no idea this crossroad that has changed because of Jacob Peterson, and just for the fact of spending a whole 2 hours a month earlier on just infants on CPR. I have no idea what has changed in our life.
name is Eric. He was just a joy, such a wonderful little boy.
Parker he was just, don't even know how to explain it. He just had a certain light in him.
And it just takes a split second when nobody's watching it.
You can have every barrier up, but unfortunately accidents still happen.
I didn't see anything at first.
We didn't know about having a self-closing gate.
He immediately jumped into the pool, grabbed him, put him to the side of the pool, and we both started CPR.
You need multiple layers of protection.
I didn't realize that when we were walking into the emergency area that we were walking right past him.
I don't think you can be overprotective, because the second that you let your guard down, it seems when accidents happen.
I mean, I physically had to pick up my son and put him in his casket. You could do more.
Ryan Thomas wore a soccer uniform. Ryan Thomas wore a football jersey. Ryan Thomas wore a top hat and tails for his senior prom.
In 2008, I lost my nephew Ryan Thomas in a drowning accident here at Saguaro Lake.
The only thing that Ryan Thomas didn't wear was a life jacket.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about the fact that a life jacket would have saved Ryan's life.
2 days after I retired, my phone rang. And I picked it up, and it was Debbie and Mitch, Timmy's mom and dad. Debbie said, "David, Timmy did not die in vain. Timmy did not die in vain." And that's a message that I would pass along to anybody working in water safety. If you have a personal loss, that person, that child, that friend, that whatever, daughter, son, cousin, did not die in vain because of what you're doing. When I retired, I had the first knowledge of how successful not only my career, but my water safety program had been. Hundreds of thousands of responses on all these different websites. Our tech people estimated at over 1 million responses. 99% had the words, "Watch your kids around water." 99%. They didn't get it wrong. They got it right. And I said, they're listening. They get it. They're listening to us.